everybody. Hello, grade 1-2s. I hope you had another great week. Today we are going to learn about what happened to the Israelites after they crossed the Red Sea. But first, I have a question for you. My question is, what things do you need each day? So you may have thought of things like food or water or clothing. And my next question is, how do you get those things? So you may have answered that you buy them at the store or mom and dad prepare them for you. Today we're going to learn about how God took care of the Israelites' needs. But first, let's sing a song to review our story so far. Moses, take my people from Pharaoh, he's evil. God told Moses, take my people from Pharaoh right now. So Moses told Pharaoh the Israelites must go. But old Pharaoh said, oh no, they're staying with me. God sent frogs and gnats and locusts and flies and diseases. Finally Pharaoh changed his mind when his firstborn son died. So Pharaoh told Moses, take God's people, please go. So the Israelites were free to worship the Lord. After singing that song, do you remember why did the Israelites want to leave Egypt? That's right, the Pharaoh was mean to them and they were slaves. What happened to the Israelites after they left Egypt? This was our story last week, right? Pharaoh's army went after them, and God parted the Red Sea to rescue the Israelites. So God took good care of his special people, the Israelites. Today we'll learn about what happened after they escaped from the Egyptian army. If you want to grab a snack, it can be part of our story today. Okay, now that you've got your snack, this is what you need to do. As you listen to the story, every time you hear the word food, you can take a bite, all right? So after the Israelites left the Red Sea, they started on their long journey to Canaan, the land God had promised them. Their journey took them through a hot, dry desert where there wasn't much food or water. You can take a bite. The Israelites had been excited when they left Egypt. They had been even more excited when God parted the Red Sea and saved them from Pharaoh's army. But it wasn't long before they were grumbling and complaining. We're starving, they whined. We might have been slaves in Egypt, but at least we had lots of food. Now we'll probably die from hunger. God told Moses, I've heard my people complaining to you, so I'll send the Israelites special food from heaven. Tell them to go outside each day and collect just enough food for that day. On the 6th day of the week, have them collect twice as much food so they won't have to work on the Sabbath. Moses obeyed and told the people just what God had said. That night, birds called quail flew into the Israelites' camp. The people were happy to have fresh, delicious meat for dinner that night. But the next morning, they found an even better surprise. Thin, sweet flakes covering the ground. The Israelites tasted the flakes and discovered that this food was different from anything they'd ever tasted before. This was special food straight from God. The Israelites called it manna. Each day, God's people collected jars of manna, and each day they found plenty of manna for everyone. Some people ignored God's rule about collecting just enough food for one day. But when they tried to collect more, the manna rotted and they couldn't eat it. As the Israelites traveled across the desert, God sent manna for them every day. When they ate their manna, the Israelites remembered that they could trust God to give them everything they needed. So what did the Israelites need in the desert? That's right, just like you and me, they needed food and water. How did God give them what they needed? That's right, he sent it down from heaven. And what happened when people disobeyed God and collected too much manna? It went bad and they couldn't eat it. The Israelites learned to trust God for the things they needed. They had to trust God that he would send food each day. We can trust God to give us what we need too. Like the Israelites, we know that God will provide for our needs. As you finish your snacks, think of all the things that God provides for each day. We can be thankful because we can trust God to give us what we need. In Psalm chapter 107, verse 1, it says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever." Because God loves us, He takes care of us and provides everything we need each day. Let's thank God with an action prayer. Okay, so we are going to do some actions. One of the things that we will need in this action prayer is actions for the words thanks God. So we are going to learn some sign language. So thanks is like this, and God is like this. Thanks God. Here is our action prayer. You give us clothes to keep us warm. You made our bodies in your form. Thanks God. You give us food to munch and chew. And when we're thirsty, water too. Thanks God. But best of all, you gave your love when you sent Jesus from above. Thanks God. Although we can trust God to give us what we need, God may not always give us everything we want. This week, talk with your family about the difference between our needs and our wants. So let's talk about our craft this week. You are going to need 2 paper plates. If you don't have paper plates, you might be able to try this with paper or something else, but I'll give you another option if you don't have paper plates. And so plates are like this, right? Normally food goes on this side. I want you to decorate the bottom side of both plates. You can make them however you want. And then take a pair of scissors, you might need some help, and cut out a pie piece. Make sure they look kind of the same on both sides. And then with a parent's help, you can staple these together, or you can glue or tape them together. And if you have the pie pieces cut out, it'll be like a little basket. Just like how the Israelites collected manna, you can use your basket to collect some things. If you don't have paper plates and you aren't able to make a basket this week, you can draw a picture. I want you to draw a picture of your favorite food in the whole wide world raining down from the sky, because that's sort of like what God did when He sent manna from heaven. All right, let's take a look at our Today I Learned this week. So this is our Today I Learned. Our story today came from the book of Exodus, chapter 16, verses 1 through 35. And our verse is still our same verse. It is very important. It says, "But we trust in the name of the Lord our God." And that's in Psalm chapter 20, verse 7. So we will be sure to include that for you. All right, everyone, have a great week. We will see you next time. Bye.